U.S. involvement in Iraq has many wondering if the U.S. will get involved in Syria as well. That's where the terror group ISIS has several strongholds, and since American airstrikes in Iraq have been mainly against ISIS targets, the next logical step would be to target the area the militant group is based in. The White House says the president would not hesitate to use force, but involvement in Syria would be a dramatic expansion of an already escalating conflict.
What we see now is we see a giant swath of Syria that's under the control of ISIS. There doesn't appear to be any ability for the Syrian government to now strike at these folks.
The president has not said if there will be military action in Syria. He could have an answer to that question today as he speaks at the American Legion National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina.
The conflict in Ukraine could be escalating. There have been reports of convoys of military weaponry and supplies coming from Russia into rebel-held eastern Ukraine. Rebel fighters also described how Russian border guards did nothing to stop them. NATO and Ukraine have accused Moscow outright of covertly shuttling weapons to the separatists. Russia routinely denies the allegations.
Family members of the Missouri teenager who was killed by police are calling for change as their loved one is laid to rest. More than 4,000 people attended the funeral yesterday for 18-year-old Michael Brown. Loved ones mourned his death alongside celebrities, politicians, and activists. An officer in Ferguson shot and killed the teen 2 weeks ago, sparking days of violent protests. For many, his death and the chaos that followed are pivotal moments for the nation.
That Michael Brown does not want to be remembered for a riot. He wants to be remembered as the one that made America deal with how we gonna police in the United States.
A grand jury is now deciding whether the officer who shot Brown will face criminal charges. The Justice Department is also investigating.
The aviation alert concerning a volcano in Iceland is being lowered. Experts are concerned about possible ash from the volcano affecting planes flying nearby. They now say that while seismic activity is still strong around the volcano, there's no sign of an immediate eruption. IU Bloomington seismologist Dr. Michael Hamburger says volcanoes can be both predictable and unstoppable at the same time.
They tend to produce increasing signs of activity that help us to see when an eruption is imminent or in progress, but detecting what kind of eruption it's going to be, how long it's going to last, how big it's going to be is very difficult.
Earthquakes continue to rumble around the volcano, but planes can now fly in the area.
We are tracking the movement of two hurricanes right now. Cristobal has strengthened overnight off the Bahamas, and Marie continues to pummel Mexico's Pacific coast. Now, the Category 4 hurricane moved northwest with big waves and high winds. One city has requested Mexican federal disaster relief after about 10,000 homes were damaged, flooded, or cut off by mudslides due to heavy downpours. Marie is expected to gradually weaken as she moves in a northwesterly direction in the coming days and could be downgraded to a tropical storm by Wednesday.